What's up, guys? Hero That Trucker here, back with another video. Today's a special day because I have something new on my trailer, something that I have never seen before in all the years that I've been with TMC. Never seen it on another person's trailer ever. I get a lot of rinse and repeat freight, a lot of lumber, shingles, coils, you know, average stuff, common stuff. So it's always exciting when I get something new. I get to learn a new way to secure something and expand my skill set. And I want to show you guys what I got and how you can secure it if you ever happen to have it on your trailer. These are Anode steel rods. Now, when I saw this on my pickup list, when I checked in at the shipping office, I was thinking it was going to be just straight on, just rods, almost like pipe. Like the stuff that you might see over there that's on that rack. But I was surprised when I got this, and I wasn't sure how to secure it. So I had to do a little bit of research, had to make a call and ask the proper way to secure this. That's what you always want to do, guys. If you're uncertain of how to secure something, don't just guess. Don't put yourself in a position where you don't know if your securement is going to hold up, and you've never seen something, you've never secured it before. You don't want to try to do something winging it, and then as soon as you try to take off with it, your freight falls over, or you have a load shift, or you know, have an accident because the freight did not stay in position where you had it. So use the resources available to you. You know, if you call your safety department, talk to your fellow driver if you got another guy next to you that's hauling the same thing, see how to do it every single time. It's always worth it. But this stuff is really easy to secure from what I learned. It's about 40,000 pounds, and I'm just touching to see how abrasive this is, but about 40,000 pounds total. And this, I think the quantity is 80 individual pieces, but they are bound, which that makes me feel good. That's a bit of securement in itself, just holding all the pieces together. But for this stuff, to secure it, I'm gonna do a mixture of chains and straps on this stuff. Let's get to it. All right, guys, we have a new development. We are still picking up and delivering this freight, but there is a piece that is defective that I did not notice. There was actually one of the workers for this area was just walking around doing whatever he does normally, and he happened to see my trailer, the freight, and he pointed out that this piece here is detached from this, which you can see clearly here now, but I guess that just moved after they loaded it, and it came loose or whatever it did. It came off the binding, I guess, when they put it on the trailer. So I wasn't out here to see it, but I'm glad that he noticed that, because he said, you know, that definitely can't go out that way. And with this being my first time hauling it, I don't know what would have been normal and what isn't, but perfect time and perfect place, because he said this could definitely come loose on the road. I mean, look at that. The only thing holding it in there is just this band here, and if it slid backwards, that could come off the trailer, and this is super heavy. You don't want that going on the highway or coming off on the road, somebody driving behind you, or go through somebody's windshield. So luckily that was caught, and they're gonna have somebody come out here, take this off of the trailer, this whole bundle. They're gonna clip the band, clip both of the bands, I guess, and take this defective piece off, put another one on, reband it, bring it out. Definitely super glad that they caught that, because I would hate to hit the highway with any kind of bad freight that is not secure. Because even if I put even if I put my chains up, I'm not certain that that would have stayed where it was. But hold on, they're coming out now to go ahead and remove it. Actually, I think it's going to be faster than the first gentleman told me it was going to be. He said it might take a minute, because they were going to do that process that I told you about, taking that piece off, rebanding it and everything. But I think that, so you just saw him take that piece off, I think they're just going to take that one off, and I guess they already had another bundle ready, because he left that one right there. So I guess he's taking the defective one, putting it away, and he's just going to put that one up on the trailer, which that'll save me time. I won't have to wait for the rebanding process if that's what they're going to end up doing. But we'll see here if he comes back out. puts that one in the place where the other one was. And I can keep on rolling, show you guys how to secure this. All right, we are squared away, and it worked out in my favor. That new bundle that was on the ground is the same one that they just put in the place of the defective one, so I didn't really lose out on any time. The new bundle that they have out, this piece up here is like completely broken off, but I guess it doesn't really matter. If you look at all of these, they all look pretty shabby. I don't know exactly what these things are used for, but they definitely do not need to be pristine, whatever it is they intend to do with them. But the thing that I don't like about these really already off the bat is this load has to be tarped. And with all these jagged pieces of metal, things are rough, you know, this is gonna completely shred my tarps if I'm not careful. I have padded tarps. Fortunately, I have 3 of them. I normally carry 2, but I received an extra one that was in a trailer that I did a swap on. And very timely, me getting that 3rd one, because I'm probably going to end up using all 3 of those padded tarps to just try to cover the top surface area of this load from all of these jagged, rough pieces of metal. I don't want them to shred my steel tarps and ruin those. Yeah, even with that, you know, well, I should be fine as long as I can cover all the tops. Yeah, because I could already see that damaging my tarps. Yeah, but we'll be good. We'll be okay, because I have the right equipment to deal with that. So starting this off, while I was waiting for them to go ahead and do the swap, I started throwing some of the chains like I was telling you guys. And starting this off from the front, for forward movement protection, I'm just gonna treat this the same way that I would a load of copper cable wires, like the big spools that look like the big cookie ice cream sandwiches standing on your trailer. You know how you would take a chain, 2 chains, 1 chain pulling forward, another chain pulling towards the rear of the trailer. And that's the same thing I'm going to do, the same style that I'm going to use to secure these rods to the trailer. But in addition to that, I'm also going to throw a strap over the middle to create more downward pressure on the trailer. So you're pulling forwards and backwards to keep the load from moving either way, say if I have to hit the brakes. And like I said, the strap over the top to pin it down. And I'm going to do that for each and every one of these. So what do you have here? 1, 2, 3, 4 sets. So I'm going to end up using 8 chains on this. 8 chains and 4 straps, and I'm like, it weighs 40,000 pounds, so that should be good enough to properly secure this. So without further ado, guys, let's get wrapping. Love this thing, guys. If you have not already seen my video where I did a review on this thing, definitely check it out. If you don't have one of these, something's wrong with you. You definitely need one. if you want to have a faster, easier work day, as much winching down as we have to do in this job, flatbedding with these straps, saving time is always a good thing. I'll put a link around here or a card, and I'll definitely have a link in the description if you're trying to check it out and get one for yourself. Here we are with the completed securement finished product. All in all, this is very easy to do. Have my forward moving protection, pulling forward on the first bundle, also pulling towards the back of the trailer, and the strap, as I said, for the downward pressure. And this same setup is on each of these sets, all four. And something to keep note of, guys, whenever you're using straps on metal, always use an edge protector. I've seen some guys rolling around at this shipper that have some of these square block ingots, not the large aluminum zinc ones that look like sticks of butter, not those. It's the ones that look like ice cubes. And you know, if you're not using chains, you always want to use an edge protector if you use a fabric, because metal and fabric plus vibration, you know, it's little micro movements, and eventually your strap will get cut and your securement will be diminished. And it'll be especially bad if you use only straps on your load here. I've seen it happen before. A guy driving down the highway and his straps are just popping off because there's no edge protectors under them. That's the recipe for disaster and for people getting hurt, and stuff that nobody wants to take place. So don't rest on your laurels. You know, even if the metal feels kind of smooth to the touch, if it's metal touching fabric, always put an edge protector under there. You know, ask yourself, is it worth the risk to not do it? You know, it's not worth the risk, because that would be catastrophe if even one of these pieces came off the trailer because the securement wasn't strong enough. But aside from that, you know, some of these portions here I'm gonna have to use a bungee to tie up some of the slack on this chain, just because I don't like having any part of the chain loose, even if it's not the part that's secured down to the trailer. I always want to have it pinched off and tight. So we're set with all of this. Nothing else really to specify other than the fact that I had to tarp this begrudgingly, but I'm getting paid for it, so that's the point that always matters. I know some guys may not want to tarp loads, and I may or may not have seen guys in the past drive off from shippers where I know we're supposed to tarp loads, and they may or may not have done it. But always, guys, ask yourself, is it worth the risk if you're gonna try to cut corners somewhere? Most of the time it's not. I mean, you can see bright skies, no clouds at all. It's probably not gonna rain, but the customer is paying for the load to be tarped. They specified that they want the load to be tarped, so really whether or not it's needed is not up to me. You know, if they're paying, I'm not asking. And as you can also see, load must be tarped. So it's on my BOL. So if I try to take it upon myself to chance it, drive up here, save myself however much time, 30 minutes or whatever, to put this tarp on and not do it, and if it rained, this load gets wet, I don't have any excuse for why it wasn't tarped. You know, it's clearly written on the BOL, and I'm being paid to do it, guys. So just be honest about that, and you know, more so just to cover yourself. You know, if you're not out there cutting corners, doing things you aren't supposed to do, you don't have to worry about getting in trouble about anything. But ultimately, that's up to you guys. For me, it's not worth the risk. So I gotta crawl out of here, or actually I don't have to crawl. I think I may have been here for 2 hours at this point in time, but I can't tarp here because this place, they have a safety rule. You can't climb on top of the trailer outside of the tarping station. So I got to drive back up near the entrance and go ahead and knock this out, and I can get out of here. I have a 6-hour drive I'm in South Carolina right now, and this load is delivering to Tennessee. So let's go ahead and get ourselves back up front, get this tarped, and we can get out of here because I need a shower. It's extremely humid out here today. It's like 90 something degrees and my clothes are drenched. Super uncomfortable and hot. So let's get this over with so I can get into the AC. All right guys, we're here at the tarping station, but we hit a snag. What kind of place that ships out tarped loads only has a single tarping station? It's wasting my time.
Say a command.
And to make things worse, that driver right there, when I pulled up, he was sitting in the spot that I'm in, you know, just the next one in line, just right here. But there was nobody ahead of him. He was just sitting here blocking that. And I guess one of the workers drove by in like one of their go-karts or whatever and like yelled at him when they saw him just sitting there. I guess they got annoyed by him. I didn't say anything to him, but yeah, he scooted up after that. And at this place, like I was saying, you can't climb up on the trailer outside of the tarping station. And there is a sign right there. I don't know if it's gonna come through on the camera, but it said you're only allowed to tarp inside the tarping station. Failure to follow this rule will have you permanently banned from this facility. And needless to say, I cannot have that. You know, I'm not gonna get banned from anywhere. I'm pretty sure, well, I haven't heard anybody directly from the company say it. I've heard other drivers say it. You know, it's like if you get banned from a shipper or a consignee, you know, you probably will lose your job because they can't use you to pick up freight there any longer. If there are signs that explicitly say, don't do this here, you know, I'm not gonna be the idiot that gets caught doing it. You know, not gonna give anybody any ammunition to use against me, guys. I'm always a huge supporter of CYA, you know, cover yourself. Cover yourself at all times. You know, don't give anybody any ammunition to use against you to put you in a bad spot. So I'm just sitting here. Hopefully this guy is not gonna be dumb and try to completely tarp his load as far as like putting the bungees on and everything. The proper etiquette when you're at a tarping station, if there are multiple drivers waiting to use that station, guys, you get into the tarping station, you drape your tarps over your load, put just enough bungees on it to make sure that your tarp won't blow off when you drive away, and then you move out of the spot. You move forward or somewhere where you're out of the way to allow the next driver to get in line, so you're not wasting his time and forcing him to sit waiting for you. Now there's nobody behind my truck, and we'll see what he does. I want to try to get to this truck stop and snag a parking spot before it gets too filled up. Usually around 7 or 8 truck stops are getting loaded up, and you're going to have the less prime parking spaces, and you know, the ones you got to struggle for or the ones you got to pay for. And I want to avoid that, because if I leave right now heading to the truck stop that I'm trying to go to in Knoxville, it's only going to be 6:16 by the time I get there, and that's great. And whoop, look, this guy is great. He draped his tarps and he left. He was not there for very long, so I don't know what that employee said to him, but I don't know. Like, he did not want to hang around for very long. I don't know, but just something to keep in mind, guys. Definitely don't block the way for the line. Keep things moving. Don't stop the money. Keep things going for yourself and everybody else at the facility. But let me go ahead and get up here, drape my tarps, and get out of here, guys, because I am filthy. I need a shower bad. This is a raggedy tarping station, guys. I wonder if these stairs are OSHA compliant. Feel stable enough. Think we'll be all right. Look at that, man. That is not stable, actually. I take back what I said. I'll be all right, but that is not something I would put faith in putting my entire body weight on. All right, the rest of it's okay though. All right, well, let's go ahead and put these tarps out. Sheesh, oh my God, this thing is a death trap. The ground or the floor should not be moving when I step on it. I'm gonna spend as little time as possible on that walkway, because I am not looking to set myself up for a workers' comp claim today, guys. Okay, something that I'm gonna need to be mindful of with that little bit of distance that I traveled, maybe like an eighth of a mile from where I was to this tarping station. This load has already settled a bit. My straps and my chains were all drum tight before I moved. Strap's still okay. Very, very loose. That one's not too bad, but see, I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that. I'm gonna have to retighten all of my ratchet binders before I go, and I'm gonna have to be super mindful when I do my load checks. I might throw in an extra load check or two to check on that, since it moved around a bit. I don't like that at all. So another thing that you want to do when you have steel tarps or a load that's metal, I like to have my ratchet handles pointing out like this, so I have easy access to them, so I can do my load checks if I need to tighten them up. With this one having a strap, or I'm sorry, having to be tarped, I want to make sure that I can just lift the tarp up easily and just crank it down and tighten it some, just in case this load settles more once I get out on the road and I need to tighten these up some more. Always give yourself the ability to examine your load securement and adjust it while you're in transit. Definitely don't want a single piece of this stuff going anywhere. And the other thing here, I got my 2 padded tarps. Like I said, I have 3, but even if I use that 3rd one, I'm not going to be able to cover up all of that last bit of metal here. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. Well, yeah, I am. Okay, so if I can't use that last padded tarp to try to cover up all of these, which I know for a fact I'm not going to be able to, it's not long enough to hit the front where those jagged pieces are all the way to the back here. So what I'm going to do is the parts of the tarp that are going to be over these pieces, I'm going to not cinch those bungees down super tight, because I don't want the tarp pressing down against this jagged metal. I want it to just be covering it and be tight enough so that it's not blowing like a cape in the wind, but I don't want to have it down tightly like I normally would, because I don't want to damage the tarp and have a whole bunch of holes in it when I need to take everything down. So let's go ahead and get to it. All right, guys, here we are with the completed tarp job. Now, I did as well as I could have, considering the limitations that this load has and the obstacles that I had to deal with concerning the jagged metal pieces, you know, different heights and not even like a lot of the loads I carry, but make adjustments as needed. So I just draped the tarp over the load, and I didn't put these bungees down super tight. Like you said, there's still some room for this tarp to just blow around a bit, so it's not pressing up against that metal, and I don't want it to cut these new tarps, because then I'll have to go patch those things or go switch them out at the terminal. I don't want to have to use my time to do that. So we got it all taken care of here. Let me see here. Oh yeah, I'll be doing the additional load checks like I specified, just because it made me feel a little bit uneasy that this load shifted a little bit. Well, the load didn't shift, the chains loosened, so the load settled. It didn't shift out of place, it just settled a bit. So I'll just do my extra load checks and tighten as needed, if needed. And looks like we are set to go the 6 hours, I believe, to Knoxville. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the video short there, guys. I'm super hot. I've got a little bit of a respite because the clouds are covering the sun, but man, it's been beaming out here all day. Fortunately, the place where I'm planning to go is a pilot that's only about 10, maybe 15 miles away from where I'm delivering anyway, so definitely want to land there, get my shower in, and get a good night of sleep before I have to sweat myself out again tomorrow because it is hot right now this time of year. But hopefully you guys learned something in this video. Watch me secure this new freight here, this new rod here. If you're interested in that winch bar that I had earlier, or any of the tools that you've seen me use in any of my previous videos up to this point, definitely check out the link below. I'll have a link to my Amazon store and to Mighty products for some of the other things that I've used, one of them being that winch bar. So if you're interested in any of those tools, definitely check out those links, get those items for yourself. They help me do my job very well, and they will make your job much easier, just like they've done for me. But until the next time, guys, Anode Trucker out.